experience. And then it's like,
Ready to welcome
it's,
the RedHawks
and then they're like, oh, okay, cool. Yep, and then you're like, oh yeah, by the way, can you give us some like federal funding? Like, okay, sure. That's basically it. That's like the whole gist. And you practice.
News.com.
Their head
coach of the Bulls in her second season at Buffalo, Becky Burke.
Good evening, everyone, wherever you are, and we thank you so much for tuning into tonight's women's basketball game here from Millett Hall. It's the Miami RedHawks taking on the Buffalo Bulls in a Mid-American Conference matchup on a beautiful Wednesday night here in Oxford, Ohio. The weather's great, and so is basketball season as we are pretty much in the home stretch of the season for RedHawks basketball. Andrew Relvas alongside Sean Weisemann here from Millett Hall. Sean, the RedHawks, they most recently defeated the Akron Zips on the road. How can the RedHawks slow down the Buffalo Bulls, who are right in the middle of the Mid-American Conference standings?
Well, I'll tell you, Andrew. I think there's one answer to this question. It's a Sheila Watson. She's ridiculous. She's an outstanding scorer, first in the MAC in scoring, third in the MAC in field goal percentage. You got to stop her. It's all going to start with her. The offense runs through her. So if you slow her down, you give yourself a really good chance to win this game.
Sheila Watson, so far, she's averaging 24.9 points a game, 5.4 rebounds. She had a season-high 47 versus Toledo 2 games ago. Her most recent game against Eastern Michigan, she scored 21 points a game in her last game. She was also a former player for USC State, where head coach Burke is from for the Buffalo Bulls. She coached a few years ago from there. So she's got a lot of experience, and she is absolutely tearing up the MAC here. Starters are getting announced here for the RedHawks and the Bulls.
I'll tell you, Andrew, the other person that really they need to watch out for today is Kirsten Lewis-Williams. She's averaging about 12 points and 6 rebounds a game. She's a real force, and you're going to have to really watch out for her. It's because the offense runs through Watson and Lewis-Williams, and nobody else averages more than 9 points a game for the Bulls. So really got to keep an eye out on those two. If you can guard those two, you really limit the options that they have scoring-wise.
Also worth noting, this is a pretty young team for the Buffalo Bulls, just like the Miami RedHawks. They got a ton of underclassmen talent, especially Kirsten Lewis-Williams, like Sean just mentioned. Starters are announced, the Bulls versus the RedHawks. Starting for Buffalo, it's Sheila Watson, the superstar for Buffalo. Right after her, it's Kirsten Lewis-Williams, the freshman, dishing things up here in Millett Hall. Rana El Husseini is at the 3 spot for Buffalo. Satote Hennes from Spain at the 4 spot for Buffalo. And at the 5, Hattie Ogden coming out here in her second year playing at Buffalo. For the RedHawks, it's Amber Treader, Jaden Scott, Jada Scott, Corey Lard, and Hennessy Lou Brown. Kind of the routine starting 5 here for the RedHawks and the Bulls. The RedHawks are wearing their white uniforms with the red lettering across the chest and the red numbering. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bulls wearing their classic blue jerseys with white lettering and numbering across. Miami wins the tip, and we are officially underway here from Millett Hall. Andrew Relvas alongside Sean Weisemann. So glad you could be here with us.
Something you didn't mention, but I think is really important, is depth is going to be a real issue for the RedHawks today. No Lucretia Edwards and no Katie Richardson still.
Corey Lard missed a mid-range shot, but right there to pick it up. Who else but Jada Scott to clean it up on the glass. It's 2-0 Miami right away. Here's Kirsten Lewis-Williams moving to her right. She passes far side over to Hennis. Here comes Sheila Watson. She's going to be the player to watch. Mid-range J, too strong on that one. Sheila Watson, nice defense there from Scott. Battle for the board on the ground there. Won by the RedHawks. Hennessy Lou Brown off to the races.
You're going to need more of that from Scott. She's going to have to play some of her best defense today against a scorer who's 3rd in the entire nation in scoring.
Only other scores that are higher are Juju Watkins from USC and Caitlin Clark. Pretty insane company.
Yes, it is. Goodness gracious.
Shot clock at about 7 now. The RedHawks are going to have to cook something up here. Hennessy Lou Williams moving to her left. Blocked there by Kirsten Lewis-Williams. Shot clock turnover. Ball goes right back to Buffalo.
Yeah, there was just too much waiting around, kind of waiting for somebody to make something happen right there. They were just all kind of standing there looking at each other saying, you go make a play. No, you go make a play. And nobody really wanted to go make a play. So we're going to need some people to take some initiative here.
Tough possession after a pretty solid one from Jada Scott at the start.
Yeah.
Take the lead there. But we'll see how the RedHawks can defend Chella Watson here. Already successful to this point, but easier said than done.
Yeah, she's a tough assignment. So good luck to the RedHawks today on in that front.
Controlling things up top for Buffalo, Rana El Husseini. El Husseini moves right. Lewis Williams, Ogden for 3. Rattle in and out, halfway home there, rebounded by Lard. 2-0 Miami.
Yeah, you like that if you're the RedHawks. You want the non-scorers, so to speak, to take those shots. You'd rather take the ball out of Watson's hands, out of Lewis Williams' hands, and you want their non-scorers taking those shots.
Corey Lard near baseline, defended by Ogden. Here comes Amber Treader right to the rim. A high layup that nearly touched the shot clock, falls up empty, and here comes Chella Watson and the Buffalo Bulls. To the rim, no. Nice defense there from Lou Brown, rebounded by Lard. The RedHawks are on attack here.
Physicality early for the RedHawks, and I think that's been the difference so far in these possessions, is they're really not letting Watson get any clean looks off. She's obviously the game plan when you're third in the nation in scoring. You're just going to have to keep making her the game plan and hope that Buffalo can't make the shots elsewhere.
About 7:45 left to go here in the first quarter. RedHawks up by 2. Shot clock at about 5. RedHawks are going to have to draw something up here. Jaden Scott tries a mid-range J there from about the free throw line on the left side. Missed it. Rebounded by Rana El Husseini.
Not the best look right there from Scott, but you know what? Sometimes when you got the shot clock falling, you got to just make something happen.
Here's Kirsten Lewis Williams moving to her left, defended by Amber Treader on the left baseline. Coming the other way, Rana El Husseini. Nice shimmy shook there from Kirsten Lewis Williams. Great defense there from who else but Amber Treader. She's been on a tear these past few games.
Yeah, she had 18 points, 10 rebounds in the win against Akron and had an outstanding game last week against Central Michigan. She's somebody you want to keep an eye out for, especially with not as much depth as you'd like it for the RedHawks.
Little under 7 minutes left to go here in the first half. Hennessy Lou Brown steps to her left, passes left over to Jada Scott, who chucks up a 3 in and out on that one. And here come the Buffalo Bulls. Kirsten Lewis Williams right to the rim. Here's Chella Watson, tries a 3, short on the left rim and out of bounds. Miami basketball. So far, basically the 25-point per game scorer, Chella Watson, has been real quiet here in these past few possessions. Some great coaching from Glenn Box. Able to limit her creativity and scoring ability to this point.
I'm liking the physicality too, like I said just a second ago. The RedHawks really matching her aggressiveness and not letting her get any clean shots off.
Corey Lard, right wing. She goes to Amber Treader, right baseline. Half-court pass all the way over to Hennessy Lou Brown, who is stripped by Chella Watson. Chella Watson off to the races. One man to beat, and she does. She beats Lou Brown there, and it's 2-2 Buffalo versus Miami.
No, that's exactly what you don't want, is to let her get in transition, let her get hot, and let her start making shots. That's exactly what you do not want if you're the RedHawks.
Jordan Tuff chucks up a 3 there, missed it. And here come the Buffalo Bulls. That's Rana El Husseini controlling things on the right side. El Husseini up and under, nearly had that one. Would have been a highlight reel play right there.
That would have been a great play right there, yeah.
Instead rebounded by Lard and the RedHawks. Lard crossover top of the key. She passes right over to Jada Scott. Amber Treader right under the rim. Hennessy Lou Brown near side 3. No. And Jada Scott right there at the rim. She had the offensive board, but just missed a close one there. Luckily, out of bounds on Buffalo.
I really like that play design from Glenn Box right there. I mean, takes some real ingenuity to get Hennessy Lou Brown and Jaden Scott back-to-back open shots like that. Unfortunately, just weren't able to capitalize on either one of them.
Jaden Scott comes in here, as well as Herho at the baseline, passing in, finds Scott. Hennessy Lou Brown near the half-court logo here. About 5 minutes and change left to go here in the first quarter. We are tied 2-2 Miami versus Buffalo. Hennessy Lou Brown passes right to Jada Scott.
Herho doesn't seem to know what the play is right now.
Scott right down low to her twin. Jaden Scott, and she draws a foul there. She'll be shooting 2. Foul on Chella Watson.
Yeah, Jaden Scott is coming into this game kind of banged up. Only had 12 minutes versus Akron in their win on Saturday, and got hurt at the very end of the game last Wednesday against Central Michigan. A poke in the eye is what it looked like.
Scott makes the first free throw. On the year, she's a 60% free throw shooter, so very consistent stuff from the Cincinnati transfer.
She was actually teammates with Watson because that was her first stop, was at UC.
It's a crazy connection.
Yeah, how they both ended up against each other now in the MAC.
Scott, Jaden Scott, Jada Scott, and Watson all teammates at one point. Here's Kirsten Lewis-Williams in trouble. Passes over to Sotota Hennes. Hennes throws up a prayer there, and it's going to be a travel turnover on Buffalo. Great defense from Miami.
I'm loving the defensive urgency thus far. They really seem to be like understanding that this is a really good offense, and specifically Sheila Watson, really good scorer, and they're up to the task. They are not playing afraid. They're not letting her get easy shots. They're really digging in their heels and saying, no, you're not going to get easy shots, and they're sticking really well onto Watson.
We will take a break here from Millett Hall. Media timeout ongoing here. We'll step away for more Miami women's basketball here on Red Hawk Radio. Andrew Relvas alongside Sean Weisemann. So glad to be here with us. We'll step away momentarily. Welcome back to Millett Hall. Andrew Relvas alongside Sean Weisemann. The RedHawks are up 4-2 on the Buffalo Bulls. So far, good start here for the RedHawks about midway through the first quarter. How can the RedHawks keep this one up, Sean?
Well, I'd like to see some offensive urgency. Multiple possessions. It feels like they've just kind of wasted and haven't really looked for an open shot at all.
Some nice passing up top here for the RedHawks. Jada Scott controlling things, moving to her right. Nice couple dribble moves there from Hennessy Lou Brown. Falls on the floor there. She finds Jaden Scott on her right. Shot clock at about 5. Hennessy Lou Brown, nice pass inside to Jaden Scott. And it's going to be a foul on Scott as she was in the act of shooting there. So ball goes right back to the Buffalo Bulls.
Yeah, just a shoulder right into the chest. They're going to, and with her feet set, they're going to call that every time, unfortunately.
tough few possessions here for the RedHawks. They played some great defense, but
yeah,
just
nothing to show for it on the other end. That's just frustrating, but as long as they keep that intensity up, they'll serve themselves well and keep them in this game.
Another foul on the RedHawks. I believe that was Jaden Scott, so she's already up to 2, and she's going to take a seat on the bench. On the inbound here, it's El Husseini. She finds Chella Watson on the right corner. Back up top, Kirsten Williams-Lewis. Chella Watson, right wing. Back up top to Lewis Williams. El Husseini moving to her left, shifty as ever. Great defense there from Hennessy Lou Brown as she pokes it out of bounds. Last touched by El Husseini. Another turnover on the Buffalo Bulls.
That aggressiveness once again for the defense, especially the perimeter, which is what really is going to have to happen. Is those guards are really going to have to play good defense. Once again, being aggressive and staying on top of the Buffalo Bulls' guards.
RedHawks, in terms of stats, they rank about midway through the defensive category in the MAC. Not so much offensively, but defensively they're very consistent.
I actually think is impressive considering they don't really have like a ton of size or anything like that, and they've lost some of their size with Richardson being out for so long that I actually find that very impressive. They've been able to put together a pretty solid MAC defense.
Turnover from Lou Brown. She was looking for Amber Treader on the other side, out of bounds. Here come the Buffalo Bulls on offense. Still 4-2 ball game, about 3:25 left to go. Chella Watson, pull up mid-range J from the left wing. Nothing but net there, and we are tied 4-4 here in the first quarter.
Sometimes all you can do is just shake your head and say that was a good shot. Just a good way to create on Watson's part.
Herho hands off to Tuff on the right wing. Back up top, that's Hennessy Lou Brown. Herho on the left wing now. Amber Treader, she's been quiet so far tonight. Hennessy Lou Brown tries a 3, missed it on the left rim, and it's going to be a foul on Buffalo, so it will stop the clock here with 2:57 left to go in the first.
Yeah, this is actually the first possession where in quite a while where it feels like they actually seem like they want to score and they're not just sitting there waiting to dribble the ball out for 30 seconds. Good aggressiveness and way to get a shot off early to get and draw the foul.
Jordan Tuff logging some more minutes in here. She had her best game of the year versus Akron. She was all over it. She had 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists versus the Zips. Foul on, I believe that's Kirsten Lewis-Williams. So it'll stay with Miami here. But Tuff was, one of those players last year who didn't get a ton of playing time.
She's carved out a role, though, as down the stretch. Definitely, like you said, not a ton of playing time early on in her Miami career, but definitely figuring out a way to get some minutes.
Also spent a year at Cincinnati before these past 2.
It's a Cincinnati reunion, apparently, today.
Amber Treader, top of the key. Nice pass from Hennessy Lou Brown. Back to Lou Brown. Here's a tray from Lard from the parking lot there. Missed it back rim.
Not a bad look, though. Lard has made those shots in the past.
Chella Watson to the cup. Counted and a foul. She is almost unstoppable in the painted area. And she puts the Buffalo Bulls up 6-4 in the first.
She just gets downhill in a hurry so quick. That just makes it so hard to stop. And so when she's in transition like that, it makes it almost impossible to get a body in front of her because of how hard of a head of steam she can get.
Watson has all of the points for Buffalo. 6-4 is our score. And she makes the first free throw. So 7-4 is our score now. All 7 coming from Chella Watson. RedHawks trail by 3. They're trying to answer. Hennessy Lou Brown, right wing. She passes down low to Corey Lard, baseline. She steps back, hands up top to Jada Scott, who tries a mid-range J, a little past the free throw line. Hard rebound there from Chella Watson, finally controlled by the Bulls.
Not a fan of that shot for Scott.
Nice pass from Watson. She feeds right there to Alexa Davis. She cashes in for 2 off the glass, and the score is 9-4 Buffalo.
Yeah, like I was saying before, Jada Scott's only a 30% three-point shooter, and that's not really her specialty. I'm not sure why she felt not a really good shot. It wasn't even a three-pointer.
Lou Brown caught up in the hands of El Husseini. She completely missed that layup, rebounded by Lopez. Some nice combination of passing there from the Buffalo Bulls. She had Davis right at the rim. With better defense there from Treader.
Some really nifty handles right there to get to the rim.
It's rebounded by Lard, and then Jada Scott controls it. About a minute and 15 left to go. Amber Treader tries a tray, and she connects.
Finally getting her involved. She's been so hot the last few games. You definitely want to see her getting some touches.
3 straight double-figure games for Amber Treader, and she picks up right where she left off. 7-9, Buffalo leads. Right to the rim, a ton of contact there from Amber Treader, and Davis shrugs it off and says, not too bad for that one. Buffalo leads 11-7 now.
Yeah, I was defended about as well as you can get. Just sometimes just make the shot.
Jada Scott passes right over to Tough. Hennessy Lou Brown thought about a three. She instead pulls it back. Shot clock's at about 10. Amber Treader defended by Ogden. Finds Scott for three. Too strong on that one. Too far, hit right rim. Rebounded by Chella Watson.
She's open on that one too. Not a bad shot, just unfortunately didn't make it.
Shot clock is dark now. Buffalo will have the last possession. Controlling things at about the half-court logo. Chella Watson defended right in the face is Corey Lard. Made one-man miss, made two-man miss. Lopez for three in the corner, completely alone. Missed it, rebounded by Hennessy Lou Brown. Hennessy Lou Brown, half-court heave. Nearly had it, too strong on that one.
She put all that 5'7" frame into that shot, but not quite.
And that's going to do it for the first quarter. A pretty fun back and forth quarter here in Millett Hall on a pretty warm Wednesday night here in early February. Yeah. Score is 11-7, Buffalo leading the Miami RedHawks. We'll step away here for more action from Millett Hall as we continue this one. Thanks you so much for tuning in to tonight between the RedHawks and the Buffalo Bulls. We'll be back for more in just one moment. You're listening to Miami Women's Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. Welcome back to Millett Hall. Our score 7-11, Buffalo leading. Andrew Relvas alongside Sean Weisemann here from Millett Hall. Buffalo controlling things on offense now. Hennis on our closest wing. She finds Lopez, far corner. Combination of passing here. She finds Hennis back up top and a travel. One too many steps there. Good first possession defensively for the RedHawks.
Yeah, way to set the tone coming out of the half. You're down 4. You definitely need to get a couple stops to get yourself back at the very least tied within this game, and doing a good job so far. Way to get that. Offense just has to get ready. You can't be on pace for 30 points this game. You got to get some better shots off.
RedHawks most recent winners against the Akron Zips. Buffalo Bulls currently on a 2-game winning streak. Lard missed the layup one. She caught her offensive board there, clean it up. Unfortunately missed the second one. Good defense there from Davis. Down low, here comes Chella Watson. Mid-range J there from Davis. Missed it, short. Rebounded by Lou Brown.
Yeah, you got to get Treader involved early. She's been the hot hand for you these last few games, and the fact that she's got 3 points to speak of is yeah, you got to do better. There's a reason the offense is struggling. It's because she's not getting touches.
Lou Brown corkscrew there, but yeah, one too many steps there. Would have been a great.
Would have been nifty if she didn't take about 4 steps on that. I like the idea, though. I mean, and I like the aggressiveness of trying to get downhill quickly and really getting the ball in your own, putting the game into your own hands there.
El Husseini has it now for Buffalo on our closest wing now. Passes up top. That's Davis on our right. Kirsten Lewis-Williams right to the rim. Left-handed layup high off the glass and finally in. Buffalo now leads by 6, 13-7.
I mean, I see the emphasis for the RedHawks on controlling the paint because, and it's working for the most part, but unfortunately that's just a great shot by the Bulls.
Hume controls it. Passes Scott, and then the other way, Corey Lard. Lard defended well against by El Husseini. Missed a layup. Some great defense from a shorter defender. Rebounded by Watson. Here we go off to the races. Right to the rim. Great defense there from Lou Brown. And they're going to say out of bounds on Miami. So it'll stay with Buffalo.
There is no reason Treader should not be getting the ball in that situation. When you're clearly out of sync offensively, who's your go-to bucket getter when Jaden Scott's off the floor? Well, it's obviously Amber Treader.
Treader so far only 1 for 2, but she's leading the scoring for Miami. 7-13 is our score. Down low, here comes Watson right at the rim. 2 defenders are there for Miami, Treader and Lou Brown, but that is way too easy for Chella Watson. Scores 15-7, and that leads to a Miami timeout. A quick one at that.
They obviously are taking possessions off. It looked like that the entire team just took a possession off for that because they're obviously frustrated by their lack of production on the offensive side of the floor. And I'm sure that's what Glenn Box is saying and he just looked unhappy with that lack of effort on the offensive floor because that was way too easy of a drive and there was really nobody else there to heavily contest that.
Tough few possessions for the RedHawks. We'll see if they rebound after this timeout. You're listening to Miami Women's Basketball here on RedHawk Radio. Stay tuned for more. We're back here in Millett Hall for some more Miami women's basketball action. Andrew Ellis alongside Sean Weisemann. Buffalo leading Miami 15-7 now. Nice combination of passes for Miami offensively. Corey Lard corrals it now. She finds Maddie Hume top near the near wing. Hennessy Lou Brown shifty as ever. Mid-range J.
You need
money.
that. Need that. That's a real rhythm builder is what that is, and they desperately needed that coming out of the timeout.
New score is 15-9. Lou Brown contributes. Buffalo leads by 2 possessions. See if they can get it to anybody but Watson, but here comes Amber Treader out of nowhere. Swats out of the hands of Chella Watson.
It was a nice backdoor pass, too, by the Bulls.
RedHawks off to the races. They slowed up here. And here's Jaden Scott right to the rim. Head full of steam there. Missed it.
Yeah, she was a little out of control on that, so wasn't able to get a good shot up.
Sticky hands there. Corey Lard nearly had the free ball there from El Husseini. However, too much contact on that one, and it's going to stay with the Buffalo Bulls. I love this defensive pressure here from Miami, especially out of the timeout.
Yeah, I like the energy, and I think that bucket by Hennessy Lou Brown really, I don't know, just put a pep in their step is what it looked like, and Lard plays like that all the time. She loves to get super aggressive, and I like watching her play because of that, but I really like that from the RedHawks. Set the tone.
And some miscommunication there. Chella Watson was near the scorer's table. She was looking for someone under the basket. No one in the area code. So a turnover on Buffalo.
Just threw it into the out of bounds. I don't know. Happens.
See if the RedHawks can make it up here. 15-9 is our score, about 6:35 left to go in the second quarter.
Love a bucket right here. Obviously, you'd love a bucket anytime, but especially here, get this to a 2-possession, hopefully even a 1-possession game.
Here's Hennessy Lou Brown down right baseline. Finds Maddie Hoon for 3. Short off the front of the rim.
Dang.
Here comes El Husseini.
Good shot, too, from Hoon.
Nice combination of passes there. Lewis Williams was right there at the rim, but some good defense there from Hennessy Lou Brown. The ref shows off the speed.
Yeah, refs are really letting them play tonight, and I'm not necessarily opposed to it for the RedHawks because that's kind of going to need to be their strategy tonight is to be physical and to keep those points in the paint to a minimum.
Pretty low scoring first half. Only 24 total points between these two teams. Corey Lard right at the rim. Good defense there from Ogden.
Dang.
Amber Treader was right there. She almost had it, but just a little bit out of bounds there. Ball goes right back to the Buffalo Bulls. So far, in turnovers, Buffalo has 5, Miami has 4. They're going to have to clean it up for the RedHawks.
Yeah, but here's something I will say, though, is they're giving themselves chances, though. They have 6 offensive rebounds to Buffalo's 2.
Dashing to the lane and laying it up, it is Hennis, and
oh, man.
Right out of the inbound there, Lard, one too many steps, gives the ball right back to the Bulls. That is a backbreaker.
I'm not even sure. I don't know.
That's terrible.
I don't know if that's a good call, yeah. Interesting to say the least. Especially because I don't even know if she had enough time to take that many steps that they're accusing her of taking.
Definitely don't see that one every day.
No. No, and I might have jinxed it a little bit because I said they were letting them play.
And right there, Amber Treader completely takes it there from the Buffalo Bulls. It was Treader on Ogden. And Treader out of nowhere, she just snuck a hand in there, took the basketball right from the Bulls, and ball goes right back to Miami. So
yeah, got to keep that aggressiveness up, like I said. Just got to keep that up, but and got to get it done on the offensive side of the ball here.
Few weird possessions. We'll see if the RedHawks can bring it back. Hennessy Lou Brown for 3. It's good.
Nice.
Hennessy Lou Brown gets the scoring back for Miami, and the RedHawks only trail by 5 now, 17-12.
That was pure. Very beautiful shot.
She's almost automatic from the wing.
No, you're right. She really is.
Right wing, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely her specialty right there.
Chella Watson, 2 defenders right at her. Ogden tries a 3 to answer back. Off the back rim, nearly landed in. But fortunate for the RedHawks, it does not. Rebounded by Herho. And Treader controls it.
No.
Pass is intercepted here. Hennis right to the rim, one-on-one, and she wins that one, laying it up off the glass and in. Buffalo back up on top with a 7-point lead, 12-19 now.
Just a dumb mistake from the freshman there. You don't want to give them free points like that.
Here's Hennessy Lou Brown now. Beautiful feed inside there. That was Maddie Hoon who tried the reverse layup, a little bit too strong on that one. Hit far right rim, but rebounded now by the Bulls. So Toto Henne passes down low to Lewis Williams. Dang. Right at the rim, counted and a foul. Kirsten Lewis Williams, she is definitely one of those key contributors on the Buffalo Bulls, and she puts the team on her back right there.
Yeah. She's
Bulls
definitely
now lead by 9.
She's definitely I know Watson has 9 already, but she's definitely plays like a number 2 contributor in the sense that she's really reliable with the ball in her hands, obviously, and just giving you some good minutes early on for the Bulls.
In terms of scoring, Lewis Williams had 21, 4, 8, and 1 steal versus Eastern Michigan. She makes that free throw up to 3 points now. But she's had 14 double-figure games this year and a season-high 21. She is just a huge contributor here for the Bulls. And only a freshman, got to mention that. Score back up to a 10-point game, 22-12 now. About 3 minutes and 35 left to go here in the second. Amber Treader, nice feed inside there. Jaden Scott tumbles over. I believe that was El Husseini, a smaller defender. That is an offensive foul.
I think Glenn
she
Box
can't believe it.
Yeah, and I think Glenn Box is basically telling her, there's nothing you can do there. I mean, she was basically, there's just nothing you can do, really, in that position. She's mid-air, basically, trying to catch the ball, and a bull just happens to be right in front of her for that. Unfortunate time and place for her.
It was Lewis Williams who actually drew the foul. Here she comes, looking for the pass, but some fast hands there from Lou Brown to push it out of bounds. It was Hennis looking for Lewis Williams there. But here's an interesting thing to monitor. Jaden Scott up to 3 fouls here, and we've still got about 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
That is really bad news for a team that for their second leading scorer right there.
Acrobatic shot there. It was 1-step, 2-step, almost looked like a hopscotch, and then threw it up there, El Husseini, but missed it. Turnover on the Bulls.
She definitely made that look a little harder than it needed to be, but it was entertaining.
If she made that, though, that would have
been incredible, yeah.
Added onto the highlight reel.
Absolutely.
12-22 is our score. A little under 3 minutes left to go now. RedHawks trying to get some momentum as we enter into the halftime break shortly. Corey Lard controls it, left wing. Back over Jada Scott. Hennessy Lou Brown tries another 3. Too strong on that one. Hit back heel and rebounded by Hennis.
I mean, thus far, this has been their worst offensive performance since probably that Western Kentucky game where they scored 20 at the half. And they're at 12. Definitely a really, really rough stretch. And yet, they're still definitely not out of this because they're playing some good defense, too.
Only a 10-point game. We'll see if the RedHawks get it back. It was a foul on Davis. The Bulls were taking it up. So ball goes right back to Miami. We'll see if they can turn this into points. Corey Lard, straightaway 3. Back rim and in. And the RedHawks are right back. 7-point game now.
Great look and just a great shot from Lard, and desperately the offensive infusion that they needed.
A little over 2 minutes left to go here. Kirsten Lewis Williams defended well by Amber Treader. Throws up a prayer, nearly went in, hit back rim, hit front rim, and finally falls out before it was rebounded by Lard there.
Yeah, not to sound like a broken record, though. They really need to find a way to get Treader involved. She's not enough touches for a team that's desperately struggling, and she's too good of an offensive player to not get those touches.
She's had 3 straight double-figure games. Treader tries a tray there.
Right on cue.
Missed that one.
Dang.
Hit back rim and rebounded by who else but Watson. El Husseini tosses to Lewis Williams. El Husseini tries a near corner tray, missed it, grabs her own board. She's the smallest player on the court. She gets a big man rebound there, and a timeout taken by Buffalo. That was surprising.
Yeah, and that rebound was on Treader too, who has a significant height advantage. So that was a little surprising, to say the least, on that rebound there.
El Husseini stands at 5'3", and her defender, Amber Treader, stands at 6'1". That's
almost
David and Goliath matchup. Yeah,
God, goodness gracious.
Insane.
That's what you and I look like next to each other, Andrew. Goodness gracious.
Definitely a fun comparison to see.
Absolutely.
But El Husseini won it, so, you know, you never know what you're going to get in these type of games. And
exactly.
there you go. It often feels like those smaller guards often have like the biggest energy.
For sure. Yeah, that
act like a bulldog.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, they're they all, and because they have to compensate, they often play with the most intensity and the highest energy, and by compensating, that usually means they do the dirty work, like getting the steals, getting some of those tough rebounds against players bigger than them in this case.
Lewis Williams passes near side inbound to Chella Watson. Ogden up top. Here's a tray there from Hennis, missed it, and the RedHawks control it on the offensive end.
Oh.
And turnover, Miami, double dribble. That's
another
the
double dribble.
Yeah, second turnover in about a span of about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Where not much happened, but the ref saw it the other way. The score remains 15-22. About a minute left to go here in the second. Buffalo trying to add on a few more.
I mean, they've been doing a good job of mostly keeping the ball out of Watson's hands, considering she is their main scorer and distributor. Good job there, and great possession there defensively.
Lewis was looking for Ogden, but the hot hands there from Hennessy Lou Brown brings it back Miami's way. RedHawks trail by 7. Can cut it here with a bucket. Corey Lard, top of the key, shot clock at about 10. Guarded by El Husseini. Shifting left, shifting right. Beautiful steal there from Watson. Her back was turned there from the Lou Brown there. And she cashes in for two. 24-15 now. Buffalo leads by 9.
It was reminiscent almost of a corner. Batting down a pass without even turning their back as the ball's thrown.
Clock at about 2 seconds. Here we go. Lard, mid-range J.
Dang.
Hit the back rim, hit the front rim. Didn't get the friendly roll there.
Almost.
So the halftime score is going to stay at 24-15. Buffalo leading the RedHawks here in a pretty packed Millett Hall on beautiful Wednesday night here in February. Tough first half for the RedHawks. I mean, you know, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse, especially from the number 3 scorer in the nation.
Right.
But
defensively, they're doing their job. Watson only has 9, and they're cutting off the any other offense that the Bulls are able to generate. The problem is they're giving them free points, though. They have 2 double dribbles, and they have multiple stupid turnovers that have led to easy transition buckets when they're not able to consistently generate that for themselves. That's what's been killing them, and that's really the only difference between these two teams right now is that the Bulls are able to generate turnovers, and that they're able to get a couple calls go their way.
Yeah, it's been back and forth. Pretty consistent for the Bulls, though. They got 11 points in both quarters. They lead by 9. And that's going to do it here for the first quarter from Millett Hall. Buffalo Bulls very strong offensive first half. We'll see if the RedHawks can quiet them in the second half as we step away for the halftime break. I'm Andrew Relvas. He's Sean Weisemann. Thanks so much for tuning in, and stay tuned for more between the Buffalo Bulls and the Miami RedHawks. Can the RedHawks steal one from the Bulls in Oxford? Find out in just a little bit. We are back here from Millett Hall. Andrew Relvas alongside Sean Weisemann. Third quarter now beginning between the RedHawks and the Buffalo Bulls. Buffalo leading by 9, 24-15, but the RedHawks are on offense here trying to cut it.
Need to get something offensively going is what they need to do.
Here's Corey Lard, far side, dribbling against El Husseini, trying to lose her on the far corner.
Great
She
defense.
passes inside the treader. Scott's shot is blocked there by Ogden, but that's a shooting foul, so she will have 2 free throws upcoming.
We like that, though. We like to get some shots off early, though, especially for Scott, who's definitely struggled thus far offensively, and they definitely want to get her involved.
First free throw hit the back rim, front rim, and then rattled out.
You gotta
Score
have
remains
those.
15-24. Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you've been struggling. I mean, this was their worst offensive half the entire year. Their Michigan State game, they scored 16. That was their previous worst, and you definitely don't want to do that in conference play here.
Second shot, same as the first. Score remains 24-15. Only 6 free throws shot between these two teams. 4 for Miami, 2 for Buffalo. Pretty quiet first half. Right at the rim there, that is Ogden completely alone, and she hits a near side layup.
No urgency in that defensive possession whatsoever. I don't know if they're just disheartened after those couple free throws, but they really did not look like they wanted to play defense at all.
Bulls now lead 26-15 here. Hennessy Lou Brown, right side, passes Scott, goes right back to Hennessy Lou Brown. Right up in her face is Hennis. Some great defense. She trips off to the races. Watson right at the rim. She airballs a layup. You do not see that very often.
She's so efficient in the paint that you really don't ever see her, especially in transition, miss those. Nice.
Pull up there from Jada Scott is money right on the right baseline.
That's a great response there from Jada Scott. You definitely want her to continue to make those kind of shots if you want to have a chance to get back into this game. Down 9.
Back to a 9-point lead here for Buffalo, 26-17. Chella Watson practically has all the points here for Buffalo. Watson loses it, diving for it is Lou Brown, handing off to Lard. 2-on-1 opportunity for Miami. Nearly a turnover there. Tough has it, and she retreats out to the far corner. Corey Lard, near side corner for 3. It's good.
Pure. I like that. What a response offensively once again. Weighed it down to a 2-possession game now.
Some nice energy here from the RedHawks in the third quarter. Here comes Ogden right to the cup. No. Rebounded by Williams-Lewis.
Ooh.
No. That's the Amber Trader that we know and love. That's the defensive board there. Gives it right back to the RedHawks.
Yeah, great defensive possession. She had to guard 2 different people on that and managed to force it a miss on both of those.
Jada Scott, far corner. She goes up top. Amber Treader tries a far wing tray. No. Rebounded by Ogden. All alone there.
That 3 would have got me out of my seat.
Here's Watson right at the rim. That is not an easy shot at all. Very close to that one. Loses it on the board. They're going to say jump ball possession Buffalo.
Stays.
It was pretty much a 2-on-2 battle for the board, the RedHawks and the Bulls.
Surprised Box didn't try to call, Glenn Box didn't try to call a timeout there. It looked like Miami had a possession there for a second. Jordan Tuff looked like she might have had a handle on that for a second.
3 minutes finished in this second half, so yeah, definitely could have been the right move there. And quickly a foul on Jada Scott.
I'm just laughing because I could see Glenn Box just in disbelief at some of these as he sits into his chair with quite a sigh, I think, and I don't blame him. It's tough. They weren't calling that at all this first half, and unfortunately going straight up isn't enough.
So Chella Watson draws the foul on Jada Scott. She sinks the first one. She's up to 12 points now. Pretty efficient for her. 5 for 12 from the floor. Now 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
Yeah, that's pretty much right in line with how she's been shooting all season. She's
79% from the free throw line.
Yeah, and 46% from the field. So she's definitely having herself a game thus far, even though they have managed to mostly limit her contributions.
Watson makes both free throws. We're back to an 8-point game. Jada Scott near corner. She retreats up top, finds Corey Lard on the far wing. Corey Lard loses El Husseini, but right there is Lewis Williams. Pull up there from Jada Scott, off and rebounded there by Watson as she sprints down the other way.
Oh,
and a travel the other way on Shella Watson. Finally catches up with her. Ball goes back to the RedHawks.
A little frustration there from Watson, not necessarily on the call. It was a travel. She tripped. It just happens, but I could tell that she's just frustrated at herself there because just a simple mistake and one that she obviously doesn't make very often.
So the RedHawks have it here. They trail by 8, trying to bring this one back against the 4th best team in the MAC. About 6:12 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Corey Lard right side. She finds Tennessee Lou Brown on the far wing. Shot clock at 3. Scott chucks one up from beyond the free throw line, and she sinks it.
That's a shot she has not been making very often either of these last few games, too. So I'm happy to see that hopefully that can build some confidence for her to continue making some shots.
Tough shot there from Scott. Lard almost had a turnover there. Missed it, and
good
Lewis
defense.
Williams the other way missed the layup, rebounded by Tough. Here comes Treader to the cup, and a blocking foul on Paula Lopez. So it'll stay with the RedHawks here.
I like to see Treader get touches, and I like to see her get more of them. Obviously, she hasn't had very many today, but if you want this offense to go, it's going to have to run through her.
So Herho checks in now for Corey Lard. She's been very consistent player for the RedHawks this season.
There you go.
Treader sinks the first one. Treader on the year, 81% from the free throw line.
And for somebody for her size, too, to be making that many free throw attempts, too, that really presents a mismatch. Just having somebody, a 6'1" forward, able to consistently make shots outside is quite hard to guard. Not many people, especially in the MAC, are able to guard that consistently.
Score goes back. It's now a 4-point ball game after those 2 made free throws. Here comes Treader like a bullet out of a gun. She springs for that one, steals it from the Bulls, and the RedHawks have possession once more. They've been forcing a ton of turnovers here, Sean.
Absolutely, and I love, like I said, just they keep that aggressiveness up. By keeping aggressive, it puts the pressure on Buffalo to perform. And if you just sit back and let them try to operate their offense, you then let Buffalo dictate the terms of engagement.
Here's a 3 by Tough. Hit back rim, too strong in that one. El Husseini grabs the defensive board, and the Bulls come the other way. Kirsten Lewis Williams right at the rim. She is fouled by, I believe that's Jaden Scott.
She's been quiet today. Only four for her, and she's their second leading scorer with a little over 12 a game. Definitely a part of why they're able to do so much defensively for the RedHawks.
Kirsten Lewis Williams, front rim, back rim, and in. Score goes back up to a 5-point game. The largest lead of the day for the Bulls was 11. Only a 5-point game now. Now a 6-point game after Kirsten Lewis Williams makes 2 free throws, and she is up to 7 points. Second highest scorer between all players. It's Watson, Kirsten Lewis Williams, and then after her, Jada Scott and Corey Lard. But Amber Treader's been quiet as she checks back in. We'll see the RedHawks involve her more. Halfway home in the 3rd quarter, RedHawks trail by 6. And a travel on Hennessy Lou Brown brings it right back to the Bulls.
You can't give them free opportunities like that, especially when you're playing from behind pretty much this entire game.
So that's the RedHawks' 10th turnover that will transition us into the media timeout. 10 turnovers for each team, but it seems like the Bulls are definitely making less. We'll see if the RedHawks can limit these turnovers and get a run on the Bulls and see if they can take them down here in Millett Hall. We'll step away. The score is 30-24. RedHawks trail by a little bit. We'll be back for more. You're listening to Miami Women's Basketball on RedHawk Radio. Welcome back to Millett Hall. Our score 30-24. The RedHawks are trailing. Bulls will have offensive possession. We'll see if the RedHawks can bring this one back and go on a run here. El Husseini has it. Passes up high. It's Watson. Watson fouled. Nearly had the and one there. Amber Treader, pretty solid defense, but 2 more free throws to Chella Watson.
You don't want Treader getting in foul trouble either, because you already have Jaden Scott in foul trouble. You don't want your top 2 scorers now in foul trouble.
3 fouls on Jaden Scott. Only 1 on Treader. First free throw from Watson. She sinks it. 31-24 now.
Yeah, thankfully Jaden Scott thus far is the only person who only has more than 2 fouls, but you don't want it to continue that way.
Chella Watson from the stripe. She's been perfect all day, and perfect from that trip. Increases the Buffalo lead to 8 now, 32-24. Miami trails. Jordan Tuff, way beyond the line, passes right over to Hennessy Lou Brown. Far corner, it's Jada Scott, finds Treader far wing, and Hennessy Lou Brown.
That's a mouthful.
Tongue twister there. Back the other way, Corey Lard, double team there, tried to pull up. Tough for 3. Tough one for the RedHawks,
Good
rebounded
shot,
by El Husseini.
Good shot, unfortunately just wasn't able to capitalize there.
Rana El Husseini dribbling against Corey Lard. About 4 minutes left to go. She passes high over to Alexis Davis. Hands off, that's Lopez. Intercepted here by Jaden Scott and the RedHawks. And Corey Lard controls it. Slow it down. They trail by 8. It's tough. Hennessy Lou Brown, far corner. Amber Treader down low. Jaden Scott, foul on. That is Satota Hennes. And it'll stay with the RedHawks.
I like our Spanish name better, Maria
Herho.
Herho. I think that's kind of cooler, but that's I don't know. I might be biased though. So that was good defense though from Buffalo. Really had nowhere to go until the foul.
On the inbound here, Tough passes up top. That is Hennessy Lou Brown. Lou Brown passes near side. Amber Treader, Scott, far side, Corey Lard. Lard moving to her right, moving to her left, shifting against Watson. Hennessy Lou Brown. Shot clock at 1, throws up a prayer there, underhanded, missed it, and rebounded by Davis.
She's done that about 4 times today, just trying to, last second, just try to wiggle underneath the defender and kind of just lob it up there.
Satota Hennis finds Chella Watson in the far corner. She trucks up a 3, hit side, left side rim, rebounded by Hennessy Lou Brown. And the RedHawks are on the attack again.
You'll let Buffalo take that shot all day because that's just,
And a charge drawn by Satota Hennis. She got both of her feet outside the restricted area, and another turnover on the RedHawks. Tough one for Miami because it feels like, you know, they're just 2 or 3 points away from getting on a run here.
You really feel like it's like one score and they could really just unlock some momentum, but unfortunately just keep shooting themselves in the foot right as they have a chance to get some momentum.
Here's Chella Watson. A flurry of RedHawks are there, and they force her into a turnover. Another travel. We've seen a ton of travels.
She looked like she
tonight.
Panicked a little bit though there. I mean, she was about to get basically triple teamed right, and so I feel like maybe her overarching reaction was just, oh, I got to get rid of this ball quick. Instead, that panic led her to travel.
RedHawks have been using some nice traps here against one of the top scorers in the nation. Foul on Rana El Husseini, and Lard was controlling it. So it's a shooting foul, or excuse me, not a shooting foul. We're in the bonus, so it'll be free throws here for Corey Lard. Lard's first free throw, few bounces, but gets in. Overall, she's a 63% free throw shooter.
Surprising, too, because she's usually a pretty good shooter from deep.
She makes both free throws. Successful trip from the line. The RedHawks only trail by 6 now.
That's
2 possession game.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully they can use that to capitalize further on and get some momentum going here.
Ogden hands off. That's Chella Watson. Watson defended by Scott. She finds Rana El Husseini, also defended by Scott. Corey Lard gets the hot hand inside there. Another pass intercepted. Hennessy Lou Brown right there to take Davis, and they'll keep it right here. Or excuse me, it goes back to the RedHawks. They forced another turnover, but man, oh man, some great defensive pressure from the RedHawks leads to another opportunity.
I love the defensive intensity that they show, especially when they see somebody crashing down. Now, that hasn't always been consistent, but when they do an excellent job of making sure that the paint is completely covered up.
Corey Lard near wing. She finds Jada Scott beyond the far side. Hennessy Lou Brown tries a 3, no. Amber Treader battles for the rebound. 2 Bulls are right there, Ogden and El Husseini. And a foul on the floor. It'll be a foul on Ogden.
Looks like Treader's going to get some more chances to get some points here.
So she can make it a 4-point game if she makes these 2 free throws. Makes the first one almost effortlessly.
Yeah.
Just a phenomenal free throw shooter. And
well,
I spoke too soon there.
I was going to say, come on, Andrew. That's okay. Still a 5-point game.
So not an empty trip by any means. She makes 1 5-point game here. About 1:20 left to go here in the third. Chella Watson throws up a prayer from the parking lot. Missed it. Rebound wide. Goes to Corey Lard and the RedHawks. Scott for 3 in the far corner.
Yes.
Bang.
Pure. Like that.
Jaden Scott has brought the RedHawks all the way back in this one. It's only a 2-point game. RedHawks trying to play spoiler against the Buffalo Bulls. In a trap there, passes far up top. It's Sahota Hennis.
That is putting some pep in the step of this defense here for the RedHawks.
Showing some nice pressure up top. Can't foul, just want to get the stop. Down low, Chella Watson, tough. Mid-range J from the near baseline. And finally rebounded by Corey Lard and the RedHawks, who will have it for another possession. Shot clock difference is about 8 seconds. 7.5. You want to be specific. Hennessy Lou Brown, Scott back over to Lard on the near wing. Scott tries a three. Back front rim, back rim, rebounded by Treader right under the rim. She thought she was fouled there, but some good defense there from Hennis and El Husseini.
Come on, RedHawks.
Here come the Bulls. About 5 seconds left to go. A ton of contact. Offensive foul on Rana Husseini.
Oh my gosh.
Amber Treader drew that one. That was another really interesting matchup to watch.
Treader is getting matched up sometimes here with some smaller guards, and is really playing up to the task. As a forward, I find that very impressive that she's able to guard the perimeter, the guards rather, so well.
4 seconds left. Here comes Corey Lard down the other timeline, throws it up. Just short on that one. And we will step away here in a half quarter where the RedHawks definitely turn it up. They were red hot from the floor, and they definitely are heating up at the right time.
Yeah, it's been a slugfest, though. Oh my gosh, it's been a fun one. If you're a true basketball fan, you can appreciate some defense. But oh my gosh, it's a real slugfest for sure.
It was a 15-8 quarter that the RedHawks won. This was a quarter where the Bulls only shot 1 for 9, but they made 6 free throws.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been the story of tonight, and we'll see if the RedHawks can close it out and take one from the Bulls. You're listening to Miami Women's Basketball here on Red Hawk Radio. Stay with us. More action to come here from Millett Hall. Here we go, fourth quarter action from Millett Hall. Andrew Relvas alongside Sean Weisemann. 2-point game, 32-30, Buffalo leads. Here comes Chella Watson right under the rim. She finds Tristan Lewis-Williams blocked by Lard.
Wow.
It was Davis going for the layup, but out of nowhere, here comes Corey Lard. She puts on the superhero cape, and she swats one out of bounds.
She plays with so much intensity. She's always such a fun player to watch.
Gotta love the energy from Lard and another player like her, Hennessy Lou Brown. Plays with a ton of intensity.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch.
Watson looking for Lewis-Williams. Treader right there, and they're gonna say last touch by Lewis-Williams.
Good way to, once again, way to start the quarter off well, and that really sets you up at future possessions to keep building on that momentum that you've already had so far.
RedHawks can tie or take the lead here. Scott passes over to Jada Scott. The two twins playing the same lineup tonight. Amber Treader downhill, spinning left, spinning right, loses it, stripped by Hennis. And here come the Bulls on the fast break. Down low, Lewis-Williams, Satota Hennis on the far corner has it. She passes right side over, that is Davis. Offensive foul, who else but Corey Lard drawing that one. And the ball goes right back to the RedHawks. She is fired up.
Yeah, I was going to say, she is really, really feeling it right now. That is outstanding defense on back-to-back possessions here. And you love to see it, especially in a close game like this. You love to see that kind of intensity in the fourth quarter when Lard has played a lot of minutes already.
So it's still a 2-point game. About a minute eclipsed here. Still so much more to be determined. Jaden Scott has it. Hennessy Lou Brown, far wing three. Too strong, left side on that one.
Dang.
Rebounded by Chella Watson, and the Bulls trying to swoop ahead. Chella Watson, full head of steam there, missed it. Good defense there from Jada Scott. Nearly a dangerous pass there.
Yeah, that was
Scott.
Close to a turnover, both on a travel and on the pass there.
The RedHawks have it the other way. Amber Treader near wing. She finds Hennessy Lou Brown driving to her left.
Ill-advised
looking
pass.
for Jaden Scott down low, but Chella Watson is there. Right to the rim, ton of contact, but Watson shrugs it off, and she scores two off the glass and in. Buffalo leads by 4.
I'm certainly not complaining they didn't call that a foul, but that is a shot that, especially as of recently, they've called very frequently as a foul.
So play goes on. Corey Lard and the RedHawks trying to answer back. Punch for punch, we'll see if the RedHawks can answer right back. Here comes Jaden Scott right at the rim. A ton of contact there from Hattie Ogden.
All right.
And a foul on the floor will send her to the line. In terms of free throws, the RedHawks have made 70% of them, 7 for 10. And the Buffalo Bulls are 8 for 8. 5 of those free throws from Chella Watson. Can't make the first one there.
Man.
Jaden Scott overall a 60% free throw shooter, so gotta make this one.
You'd like to make this one right here. There you go.
And Scott does, and we're back to a 3-point game.
Yeah, keeping it at a one-possession game is huge.
31-34, the Bulls lead by 3. El Husseini has it. Satota Hennis and Lewis-Williams right back over on the right side. It's Chella Watson. Watson driving down low. Ogden, Satota Hennis, shot clock at 10. Hennis spins
what
and
a
swerves.
move.
Comes up empty. Great defense there from Jaden Scott. She grabs the board and hands it right back off to Corey Lard.
That was nifty footwork though from Buffalo there.
Couple of those baskets, they seem to have gone in, but just don't. Here comes Amber
There
Treader
you go.
right at the rim.
That's what you like. You want to see her get involved, and because she is the main scorer for you at this point in the season.
Beautiful feed inside. Lard to Amber Treader. That's going to be a great connection for the RedHawks throughout the season. And we're
hopefully in
down
future
to a
seasons
1-point game.
too.
Yeah. Ogden tries a 3 straight away. Money.
That's a killer right there. That's a great shot, but that's just a killer, especially when you've built all this momentum and points are at a premium here.
Back to a 4-point game after the Ogden 3. 33-37 now. Jada Scott, Amber Treader right side. Here's Hennessy Lou Brown on the far wing. Corey Lard near the straightaway line. Shot clock in single digits. Hennessy Lou Brown drives to the rim, finds Jada Scott. She chucks up a three.
Dang.
Missed it left side. Rebounded by Rana El Husseini, and the Bulls control it on the other side.
She's not the one you want taking a three-point shot in that situation.
Ogden,
Oh,
another three. It's good.
Oh, man.
Back to a 7-point game now. Back-to-back threes from Hattie Ogden, who is a 31% three-point shooter at 6'2". You don't see that very often.
No, you don't, but, I mean, certainly it makes it a threat. It makes it hard to guard when somebody who's even remotely good enough to shoot that.
Free throw jumper there from Jaden Scott. Sinks it, and we're back to a 5-point game. 35-40 now as we go back and forth. It's gonna be all about defense as we end into these closing
Speaking
stages.
of defense, there
right
you go.
on cue there, Jaden Scott forces a steal, and the RedHawks have it on offense again.
Okay, I like that. Now you got to get some points out of it here.
Corey Lard slowing things up top as she's at about the half-court logo. The big red M. Jaden Scott finds Jada Scott on her left. Hennessy Lou Brown far wing. She passes near corner for Corey Lard. Amber Treadle
Good
pull up.
luck.
Jay there from the free throw line. She sinks it. And
Well,
she's
an 80% free throw shooter. I mean, that's basically a free throw. So
Free
I
throw
mean,
straight up.
I like my 80% chances there.
Right to the rim, Chella Watson, a ton of contact from Amber Treader, and a foul on the floor will bring her back to the line.
It's Treader's third. You definitely want to keep an eye on that as the game winds down here. If you have to start resorting to fouls, she's the last person you want to have to get into foul trouble here.
Timeout taken on the floor by the RedHawks, and we will step away. The score is 40-37. The RedHawks are trailing, but
Got some
they're
exciting basketball
coming
here,
back.
Andrew.
Yeah.
I like this.
Officially crunch time. Don't go anywhere. RedHawks are battling between the Buffalo Bulls here in the Mid-American Conference. Don't go anywhere. We've got more action here from Millett Hall. Andrew Relvas alongside Sean Weisemann. Stay with us. Back here in Millett Hall, Andrew Relvas alongside Sean Weisemann. scores 40-37. The RedHawks trail. There's a trip to the free throw line once more for Chella Watson. She sinks the first one, up to a 4-point game now. Made 7 free throws out of 7 at the free throw line tonight. 11 points otherwise. She misses that one.
That's crucial, especially with, like I said before, with low-scoring game like this. Those free throws are really what's going to make the difference here.
Stays to a 2-possession game. Amber Treader has it down low, looking for Scott. She somehow grabs the board. They're going to say jump ball. Possession Miami.
Okay, stays to Miami like that.
But what Treader was looking for, she was looking for Jaden Scott, and she
kind of on a
I think she
backdoor
was trying to
right there, yeah.
nutmeg her defender. Just didn't work out. Luckily, she grabbed the board. Stays with the RedHawks here. Jada Scott has it up top. She moves to her right, passes left. Corey Lord moves to her right. RedHawks trail by 4. Shot clock winding down here. Scott downhill, defended by Watson. Chucks up a 3 here. Lard, no. Rebounded by Jaden Scott. What a rebound. Here comes Jaden Scott right to the rim. Right-handed layup. Money.
Goodness gracious. I mean,
doing everything on the offensive glass there.
Wow. Like, she must have had those stretchy arms or something. I sure as heck am not making that rebound.
2-point game now, 41-39. The Bulls lead. Hattie Ogden has made all 2 3-pointers. El Husseini the other way. She makes it from the far wing.
Well, it's finally catching up to them that they're crashing the paint, and it was killing them all. The Bulls all game offensively. It's finally catching up.
Before those 2 Ogden threes, they were 0 for 8. Scott nearly lost it. It was El Husseini who was right there. Controls it. Corey Lard left side. Lard defended by Rana El Husseini. Heat check 3.
No.
Left rim, no. Rebounded by Jaden Scott. A crucial rebound here.
There, yeah.
Not
a great shot either. Lard was just kind of standing out on the perimeter there, just kind of waiting for somebody to do something.
RedHawks got to get some points. They don't. They lose it to Satota Hennis, who strips Corey Lard there, and the Bulls can control it here. Make this one even tougher for the RedHawks.
That's crucial turnover right there.
Chella Watson right under the rim. Great defense there from Lard and company. And the RedHawks have another possession on offense.
Glenn Box is not happy with Corey Lard. I'm going to guess it had to do with that last possession. She was kind of just standing there, dribbling, kind of looking around, and I think he was frustrated with the lack of urgency there. Understandably, especially when, you probably only have a handful of possessions left, and it's a 2-possession game here.
We'll keep it here instead of taking the timeout break. Sean, if you're the RedHawks, you trail by 5. What are you drawing up here? Are you drawing up a 3, or are you drawing up something under the basket?
Probably under the basket. I mean, you've been able to get 11 offensive rebounds too, including multiple from Jaden Scott. I feel like I'll take my chances with a 2-pointer, and we played. The RedHawks have played such good defense. I think you can come back down and give yourself a chance. I wouldn't force a 3, considering that they're 5 for 23 from the 3-point line today. Not great stuff, especially so. I think your best bet here is to hopefully drive to the basket, draw a free throw where they're shooting 8 for 12, and hopefully get the 3-point play there rather than a lower percentage 3 that just hasn't been really working for them tonight.
In terms of 3-point shooting, like Sean just said, they're 5 for 23. That's 22%. And they made 3-pointers in all 3 quarters except this one, 0 for 4 currently. But
I also want to say, too, Andrew, it's not necessarily that they're terribly shooting the 3-point. It's a lot of those threes have been heavily contested or last second at the buzzer because there's no real urgency. Nobody's making hard cuts. There's no real consistent offensive identity for them, so they're just kind of lobbing up threes at the buzzer, which I think is hurting them a lot, and I think that's hurting their offensive flow as well, and it's kind of been shooting down some pretty crucial possessions for them.
Feels like you almost have to have Treader involved. She's the leading scorer as well.
Yeah.
10 points for the RedHawks. She's played a huge factor, especially down the stretch. And, you know, she's also played some phenomenal defense. I expect her to continue to stay on the floor here for Miami.
Yeah, she's been like sincerely one of the best defenders in that I've seen on this floor for either team this season. She's been like, this has been one of her best defensive games, and just because she has been able to step out and because Buffalo runs a kind of lighter lineup, pretty guard heavy, she's been tasked with guarding a lot of smaller, quicker guards, and she's been up to the task. She's really done a nice job in defense and made several crucial rebounds as a result of getting those smaller matchups.
We'll see what the RedHawks decide to do here on offense.
I also think too she like has some serious like defensive maturity. She doesn't really get fouls called on her on defense,
absolutely.
which is pretty rare, especially for a freshman. In general, it's a difficult task, especially when you're in the post as much as she is. But she really does a good job of staying upright and keeping her hands upright and really drawing turnovers and missed shots and getting rebounds.
Check your watch. It's officially crunch time here in Millett Hall. 5-point game, 39-44. Hennessy Lou Brown has it far wing. She passes near side. That's Jaden Scott. Jada Scott has it. Corey Lard down low to Jaden Scott, and a foul on, I believe that's Ogden. So it'll stay right here with the RedHawks. The Bulls third. So no bonus just quite yet.
That's Ogden's third as well, which is something to keep in mind.
Lard looking for a RedHawk. She finally finds Hennessy Lou Brown up top, and this is a possession where the RedHawks at least got to get something offensively.
Yeah, and Glenn Box is showing telling them to show some urgency here, really trying to get them going here. There you go.
Jaden Scott, spin cycle, a corkscrew from the Cincinnati transfer, and the RedHawks are right back in this one. 3-point game, 44-41.
And I think that's exactly what Glenn Box wanted. He just wanted some urgency. Even if you miss the shot, which obviously you want to make it, you just want some urgency on offense here.
Jella Watson throws up a right-handed prayer. No, great defense there from the Scott twins. Miami can tie this one up here with a 3. 1:15 left to go. Amber Treader, near side 3. Left-handed rim, no.
I think she thought that was going in. She was taking a couple steps back there. little Steph Curry action.
Maybe a little bit too far there for Treader.
A little preemptive, unfortunately, because from our angle at least, it looked like it was going to go in for about a quarter of a second there, but just rattled out, unfortunately.
She's a 31% three-point shooter, and she's already made one tonight. But, you know,
she was struggling from 3 early, too. I think that Buffalo did a really good job of kind of forcing her to taking her out of the equation down low and really forcing her to take 3-point shots, which obviously she's not a terrible 3-point shooter, but that's not how you want to get her the ball. I think now that she's now that she's made a couple buckets under the basket, I think now that's really helped to build her confidence, and that's how she's been able to get how she's been able to get more involved offensively, and especially in the second half here.
3-point game here from Millett Hall. Stay with us, Andrew Rose and Sean Weisemann. This has been a fun back-and-forth seesaw affair between two Mid-American Conference rivals.
Absolutely, yeah. This is as good as it gets right here in college athletics.
Under a minute now, Hennessy Lou Brown against Rana El Husseini. Pressed heavily at the Miami half-court logo. Those two are battling right at it. Hennessy Lou Brown trying to get the steal. She finds Satota Hennis on her right side. Here's Hattie Ogden, who chucks up a prayer.
Oh.
It's good. Oh, my goodness.
What a dagger.
And
they're going to review this.
They're going to review this one.
I think she got it off, unfortunately. At least.
This is going to be a huge
but
call.
I was going to say, either way, this is, like you said, this is going to be massive because 38 seconds and you're down 6 in a game in which only you're just now really getting anything going offensively. That's a really tough ask for this RedHawks squad here.
So if you're a RedHawks fan here, fingers crossed. You just got to hope that Ogden was just a little bit late, but from where we were sitting, it looked like she was money in the bank right there.
Whew.
Addie Ogden, ice in her veins. She made 2 threes earlier.
That was about a, 28-footer
That
there,
one was
too.
deep, yeah.
That was a deep 3 that she hit. Because they played defense, really, really good defense for the first 28 seconds of that possession. But, of course, it's just the final 2 when she just happens to make a shot. Incredibly unfortunate if that's the case. Looks like they're going to keep it on the board here.
So 3-pointer counts, and this one shortens up the game a lot more now for the RedHawks. 6-point game now, and this is a possession where the RedHawks are going to have to be quick.
Yeah, it reduces just your flexibility. I mean, it kind of forces you because it's like, okay, you know, if you don't hit a 3 here and you take your 2, well, that means you still, regardless, you still have 2 possessions. You have to go and get a basket. So it kind of forces you to take a 3 for when, you know, you haven't been shooting the 3 all that well today. Only 5 for 24.
8.7 seconds separate shot clock and game clock. Jada Scott has it. She finds Amber Treader. Corey Lard, far corner 3.
Nowhere
Missed
close.
it completely. Airballed that one. And Chella Watson will hold it here.
I'm surprised they didn't foul sooner on that. I don't know what
Oh,
the communication
4
was
seconds
on that.
went off on that one.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure what
Stops the clock. This is going to be the stealing game now.
Yep.
RedHawks trying to.
Just got to play some break. Oh boy.
Lewis Williams passes inside. She finds El Husseini, and Hennessy Lou Brown fouls her. That is her second, third for Miami. So a few more until the free throw game begins.
Almost
Hennis has it, and another foul on the RedHawks. That's, I believe that's Jaden Scott's 4th.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And one more before we will be shooting free throws, and more time continues to run off of this one. El Husseini runs pretty much in a circle, semicircle there all the way around before Treader races to her and fouls her. And that stops the clock at 19 seconds. So about 11 seconds went off from the start of the RedHawks offensive possession
I just
until we are now.
Yeah, you know, I think it's interesting. El Husseini is 5'3", and yet she has 10 rebounds. She's
crazy.
Yeah, but only shot the ball 4 times.
She plays her role well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, considering she's 5'3", she plays like she's about 6'3".
El Husseini misses the second one. She makes the first one. Corey Lard and the RedHawks race down the other way. Corey Lard right to the rim, dashing to the hoop and cashing in for 2. The RedHawks trail by 5. Chella Williams in a trap. 3 RedHawks are all around her, and
they call a
foul on the RedHawks. They were somehow able to grab that one.
I'm a little surprised they didn't call it just a jump ball. That's what, at least from our angle here, that looked like a jump ball. Unfortunately, though, that's free throws. And Lard couldn't believe it either because I don't blame her. It looked close. Looked like it could have been close.
So Miami takes a timeout here with 7.6 seconds left to go here in the 4th quarter. This was a game where the RedHawks, you know, they had it. They had their moments. They could have tied it up, but
they
just kind of escaped them.
Yeah, Andrew, you're completely right. They had chances, and I'm sure that's what, you know. I think you could say that about a lot of big games they've had this season. Unfortunately, they've been so close and haven't quite been able to finish on a lot of these games here. But you know, these are great moments for a team that's pretty young, and you know, a lot of their contributors are freshmen and sophomores, and you know, obviously it stinks if they aren't able to pull out the win tonight. But you know, these are experiences that you can definitely teachable moments and situations that you can't really experience. You just can't do it. Can't teach people any other way.
Yeah, in the future, these games are probably going to help the RedHawks in a big way.
Right.
They're definitely going to be battle tested. But unfortunately,
just a ton of close games just aren't able to get on the right side of it very often. But you know, as frustrating as it might be, This is a RedHawks team that's playing just as much for now as they are playing for the future. You know, with as young of a core as they are, and I'm sure that they'll continue to be next year. Yeah, just great experience here.
Chella Watson made the first one, missed the second one. Corey Lard will hold it here, trying to score one last bucket right at the rim. Throws it to Lou Williams on the far corner. Time runs out, and that's going to do it here from Millett Hall. The Buffalo Bulls coming into Millett Hall. They steal a win from the RedHawks in Millett. And
that was a real
back and forth.
Slugfest,
Yeah, battle between these two Mid-American Conference teams. Tough one for the RedHawks, but they'll bounce back.
Yep.
And got plenty more season left to go and plenty more time for the RedHawks to progress, especially Amber Trotter. We've seen her get so much better from start to finish. And, you know, I feel like we didn't mention it a lot, but the RedHawks are kind of banged up, especially on the injury front.
Yeah, they're like you said. I mean, they're really they're thin. I mean, they're playing what is essentially a 6.5-man rotation with Jaden Scott being pretty banged up right now. I mean, it's tough to win games when you have that little depth and everybody's playing, 25, 30, easily 35 minutes. Just really unfortunate.
The RedHawks have been without Lucretia Edwards since January 13th versus that Western Michigan game, her last, and they've been without Katie Rashawson, who is another one of those players who's one of the top rebounders on the team.
Just a veteran presence that I'm sure they're really missing. Obviously, it's good to at least have her on the sideline, but you'd love to have her out on the court because your front court is really lacking any other interior presence other than the Scott twins.
So the RedHawks will try and get back into this one for their next home game versus Georgia State. The Georgia State Panthers coming in from the Sun Belt. It's the MAC versus Sun Belt Challenge. Should be a fun one here from Millett Hall. We'll have that for you this Saturday, February 10th at 1 p.m. And then after that, we'll have the men's game shortly after. So we'll have a full day of basketball here from Millett Hall on
Fun day
Saturday.
for Red Hawk Radio. I like that.
Absolutely, yeah. Should be a fun one here from Millett, and we'll see you then. But we've got hockey versus St. Cloud State coming up next, and more to come from Oxford. Thanks so much for tuning in. Andrew Relvas alongside Sean Weisemann. The Miami RedHawks lose to the Buffalo Bulls 49-43 in a back-and-forth game that unfortunately the RedHawks lose. But they will be right back at it on Saturday versus Georgia State. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you in our next Red Hawk Radio broadcast when it comes. Thanks so much. Have a good rest of your night.